Holly Brink.
And I'm Andy Brink, and we're the proud parents of Team USA member number 24, Bobby Brink.
I'm the father of Leon Sommer.
I'm Claudia Vranischitz, the mother from Sebastian Vranischitz from the Team Austria.
Hi, we're Mark and Karen Colangelo. We're the parents of number 22, Sam Colangelo.
I'm Martin. I'm father of Clemens Kreitz from Team Austria.
And we want to wish Bobby and the rest of Team USA a lot of luck up in Edmonton at the World Junior Championships.
We keep our fingers crossed und halten die Daumen. Let's go, boys!
A lot of success, many goals, and a great time.
Merry Christmas to everybody, and go get 'em, boys.
Good luck, Sam. Go USA.
We are very, very proud of you. Go, 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 Austria!
Edmonton, Alberta on Boxing Night, and we've had a couple of knockouts so far today. Sweden 7-1 over the Czech Republic, Canada 16-2 over Germany. The Americans taking on Austria tonight and trying to do something similar. They're a little sour from last night's loss against Russia. That's the end of our triple header today on the World Juniors on TSN. How you doing, Canada? Hope you're enjoying your turkey leftovers, your turkey sandwiches, your turkey soup, turkey pudding, whatever it is you have. It's James Duthie and Bob McKenzie with game number 3 on day number 2 at the World Junior Hockey Championship. And we've already seen both sides of this tournament. Day 1, we saw 3 really close games, including a dandy between the Americans and the Russians. On day 2, the opposite side, Sweden with a blowout and Canada giving Germany absolutely no chance whatsoever. This one might lean towards the latter category. The Americans are skilled and loaded. The Austrians have never won a game at this World Junior Hockey Tournament. To get you ready for it, Gordon Miller and Ray Ferraro.
The U.S. coming off a tough loss to the Russians last night, one in which they had a hard time getting things going.
Just 5 shots in the first period, 26 overall, and they really seem to be stymied in the middle of the ice. And for a team that is supposed to be able to produce offense, they really had a tough time dealing with the aggressiveness of Russia. When Russia was shorthanded, they pressured them. The U.S. really was never able to get set up. When they had opportunities to carry the puck, they ran out of room. It's like they weren't ready for the way the game was going to be played, the pace that it was going to be played at. Now, they were down 4-1 in the third period, and then they got a couple of goals to give themselves a chance to win. They gave up the empty netter late for the final 5-3. Now they're going to have a chance against Austria here to carry the puck, to move the puck. I'm interested to see how quickly the U.S. breaks out and gets on the attack tonight.
Austria in the top group of the World Junior for just the 4th time in the 45 years of the tournament. 5 of the Austrian players are too young to be drafted yet in the NHL.
Well, Germany today had Tim Stützle and John Peterka, and Austria has a star in Marco Rossi. What do we expect from the 9th overall pick of the Minnesota Wild?
Well, it's heavy lifting for him because, as Gordon Ray pointed out, Austria is far from a juggernaut at the World Junior Championship. But I can tell you this, head coach Nate Lehman of the United States is not taking this lightly because he knows that Rossi's a game breaker. He led the Ontario Hockey League in scoring last year. He's played 3 full years in the OHL for head coach Andre Tourigny of the Ottawa 67s, who, of course, is the head coach of Team Canada as well. And Rossi is a top 10 pick, number 9 overall to the Minnesota Wild, who could be playing in the National Hockey League this season. A lot of people think he's got an excellent chance to make the roster. Now, he's not a big guy. He's 5'9", but he is 180-odd pounds. He's got that low center of gravity, and he is an offensive star at the junior level. And if the Americans want to keep him in check, they're going to have to use big defenseman Jake Sanderson as part of that assignment.
Let's check out your starting goaltenders for tonight's game. Dustin Wolf gets a start for the Americans. He came on in relief of Spencer Knight and that loss to Russia last night. Sebastian Vranischitz starts for Austria. He plays for the Vienna Capitals. Austria only has 1 point historically at the World Junior Tournament. Way back in 2004, they got a 2-2 tie in a relegation game. Thomas Vanek with 2 goals for Austria. We'll see if they can get 1 or 2 tonight against the U.S. right after this.
The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 80 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, helping build stronger communities on and off the ice. When we give back together, we're all connected for good. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Find new reasons to cheer. Find new roads.
Welcome back to Edmonton. It's the final game on day 2 of the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship as the United States takes on Austria. The United States beaten by Russia last night. Austria makes its tournament debut. Referees are from Canada. Matthew Minetti is from Verdun, Quebec. Mike Langan from Saskatoon. The linesman Michael McGowan from Mission, BC. And Dion Foster is from Edmonton. And in goal for Austria is Sebastian Ranicits, 18-year-old from Vienna. Plays for the Vienna Capitals in the Austrian Pro League. And for Team USA, it'll be Dustin Wolf, who came on against Russia, stopped all 11 shots he faced in relief of Spencer Knight. He's a 19-year-old, plays for Everett in the Canadian Hockey League. Roger Batterer is the head coach of Austria, head coach of their men's national team for the last 3 years. And Nate Lehman, the 48-year-old, is the head coach of the U.S. national junior team for the first time. He's in his 10th year as the head coach at Providence College. We saw Canada with a blowout win over Germany earlier.
No box today's deal today, boys. Here we go. Let's have a good one.
And for the United States, a chance here to right the ship a little bit after a frustrating opening night against Russia. Austria's in the top group, as we mentioned, for the 4th time. Their last appearance was in 2010 with Saskatoon. They were relegated that year. They won promotion in the 2019 Division 1A. Now, of course, the problem with that is 14 of the players aged out. 2000-borns. So their starting goaltender and their top scorer from that Division 1A tournament are too old to play here.
So difficult in the age-out tournaments that, you know, it's so hard to advance. And just as you mentioned, you don't get to bring many of your stars with you. Well, there's one for Austria, Marco Rossi, the Minnesota Wild 9th overall pick in 2020. We're going to watch him a lot tonight.
He was really good in their pre-tournament game. And it's flipped in by Fabian Hochhager. Hochhager trying to dig it free down low. Turcotte's got it back. Here's Alex Turcotte for Team USA. First round pick of the LA Kings in 2019. One of 9 Kings prospects playing in this World Junior. They lead in that category for the 2nd straight year. Zegras centers it. Kaliev with his shot. That goes wide.
9 last year, 9 this year for the Kings.
Now, flip back down the ice, and icing called against Austria.
The U.S. got off to a little bit of a slow start against Russia yesterday. They were down 1-0, had just 5 shots in that first period, and the game got away from them a little bit in the second period. They gave up the 3 goals. Spencer Knight got pulled, and so it's a U.S. team that wants to have a more consistent 60-minute effort tonight.
Posh gives a whack to Berard on the way by, and Brett Berard flips that wide. What you don't want to do in this game for Team USA is struggle again. You walk in, Berard, a long shot. That's good. You're expected to win this game, probably by a wide margin, so that could be a tough standard to it.
Right, so play. Don't let yourself get frustrated. Nate Lehman wants his guys to be aggressive, but if you don't score early, the bench becomes agitated in a game that you think you should dominate.
Remember last year, Canada only beat Germany 4-1?
And it was hard.
That was a good German team.
Yeah, and it was hard. It was, but when you go into that game, you think that you're in control.
Matthias Baum skated by the puck. And scooped up by Ryan Johnson. Moves it ahead to Brendan Brisson. This pass ahead. Shoveled down the ice by Patrick Moynihan. Slaggered after it. Brisson centers it. Was in behind Moynihan. From the point, Faber moves up. A centering pass is knocked away by Baum, but held by Slaggert. A backhand shot that's kicked out by Ranicits. Slaggert Feeds it across. Now picking the sign of the goal, centered by Moynihan. That's picked off and brought out by Pashinvine. The best chance for the Austrians will obviously be when the Rossi line is on the ice. As Beniers moves in, Beniers looking for Golden. It trickles on goal, and Radishitz makes the stop.
Nice counter by the United States. The puck moved quickly, and Matthew Beniers, who is going to be, in all likelihood, a first-round pick this year for the United States, gets it in full flight. Now he's got some room, and he makes a nice little pass through the middle, and Matthew Boldy, who I thought was terrific in the first game for the United States, isn't able to handle it. Reinishitz is able to jump on it and freeze the play.
Puck moved ahead to Chofin. Marlon Chofin has that knocked away. He plays his junior hockey in Switzerland. The centering pass just missed this time. Out of the reach of Bobby Brink. There are actually 2 pro leagues in Austria. There's their main league. Then there's the Alps Hockey League, which includes teams from southern Austria, Italy, and Slovenia. The old Italian league is no more. That was a nice retirement play for.
I used to have that in my brain that playing a couple of years in Italy might be a good way to finish. And
Bolzano, Milan, those were good spots to go to.
And then I got a little old for that, and I was like, I can't play anymore. I was running out of countries to play in, so but that seemed like a good place to finish.
Another centering pass missed as Caulfield fanned on it. Sanderson's long shot blocked by Peters. Tied up is Necessary. And Peters moves out ahead, trying to find Marco Castro, a 16-year-old who's eligible for the draft in 2022.
Plays in the U20 league in Rögle in Sweden. He's got 5 goals in 13 games this year as a 16-year-old. I mean, like, that's really hard to do. He's an impressive young player.
His dad, Peter, played for Austria in the 2002 Olympics in Salt Lake City. Hochegger, long shoot in, blocked by Wolf. Hochegger back with it. Plays for Klagenfurt in that Alps Hockey League. That also includes the Red Bull Academy, where a lot of German teams put their young players. It's in Salzburg. That pass was Wallner, who goes back down the ice. Puck is at the side of the goal. Ranishitz is down as Turcotte just missed. Shots are 4-1 in favor of the United States. Cam York, the American captain, plays it down. Turcotte with a chance, put it wide. Turcotte gets it back, waits, a backhand shot. Ranishitz the save, and he hangs on to the rebound. And we welcome fans of the United States who are tuning in. So if you can't be here in person, at least we have you virtually. Hey, listen, Zoom's been the way, right, in 2020.
Yeah. Let's go!
Yeah, I don't know what your Zoom setup is at home. Mine's a couple of big books on a box, hoping the computer doesn't fall over. Haven't quite perfected that yet.
They're actually selling, from what I understand, complete sets for your background, for your bookshelf flex, that you can just order one, so you get good books in behind you. Like War and Peace and all that.
Yeah, but
they look really well read.
Yeah, but your buddies are going to know you. You don't know the front from the back of those things. The U.S. has an interesting lineup. They were hit with some positive COVID tests right before they left for Edmonton, and they ended up with 9 defensemen on their roster. John Beecher, a first-round pick of the Bruins, who I thought was going to be a really effective player in this tournament. Thomas Bordeleau, along with Alex Vlasic, a 6'6" defenseman, were all excluded from the tournament. And they kind of got into scramble mode to put this team together on the bottom end of their roster.
Austria also lost a key player, Timo Nickel, who's an Anaheim draft pick, is not here. And of course, with the limited depth the Austrians have, loss of one player can be really tough. Here's Sanderson back with it. Boldy chips it back out. Beniers to Caulfield. Cole Caulfield, sharp angle, puts it high off the glass. Here's York back with it. Slides it back down. Caulfield fell. York's got it. Back in the corner he goes to Boldy. That pass goes off a skate. Matthew Boldy. Boston College of the NCAA drops it back. And that long shot taken there by Faber, kicked away by Ranishitz. Scooped up and moved out by Bernard Posh. And Faber's back to pick it up.
Well, they just have one shot. I would say this has been a start that Austria would be pretty happy about. They haven't been running around. They haven't been pressured greatly in their zone yet.
Turcotte works it down to Zegras. Zegras walks right in, a backhand shot, and Ranishitz makes the stop. No score here in the opening period. You're watching the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship on TSN.
Trevor Zegras had a goal yesterday in the third period. He gets a nice pass from Alex Turcotte, and this line struggled a little bit for the U.S. last night. They couldn't quite get untracked, and not until the third period anyway. And Zegras, who's a terrific prospect for Anaheim, had a good chance on goal.
It was a long shot by Zegras, and Ranishitz hangs on to that. Zegras had a great tournament last year as an 18-year-old. Led the tournament with 9 assists, as you talked about.
Really crafty player. He goes fast when he has to go fast. He slows down when he's got some time. He's always got his head up looking for the next play. I really like him a lot. He's going to be a player, I think, that will be a secondary player. You play him with a goal scorer, and he's going to be able to help create on a line.
Johnson goes back as Bohm closes on him, and Ryan Johnson pulls it out. Up along the boards, Passion line. Knock it away from Turcotte. Now Zegras comes back in for it. Lewis Linder picks it back up for Austria, banks it off the boards, and down. It goes wide of the goal. Icing called against Austria. And a penalty coming up to Team USA. It'll be Ryan Johnson who goes off.
Penalty number 23, 2 minutes cross-checking.
There's the cross-check for Ryan Johnson. The Buffalo Sabres first rounder goes to the box, and Austria will go, Austria will get their first power play of the hockey game.
U.S. is only shorthanded once against Russia. Ranishitz passes that ahead. Ranishitz does play in the Austrian Men's League, so an 18-year-old playing against pros.
Plays for Dave Cameron in Vienna, the ex-Senators coach. Dave's a good man.
Coach of the Canadian junior team in 2011. Austria's produced some pretty good players. Thomas Vanek, of course. Michael Raffel. And Marco Rossi, they believe, is the next one. And here's Rossi with it. Scoring star for the Ottawa 67s plays it back. Here's Peters with it. Jake Sanderson chips out ahead to Beniers. That's fired down the ice by Matthew Beniers. Austria's been one of those elevator teams at the Men's World Championship level as well.
They just can't, those teams just can't put enough momentum to stay.
Right.
They get there, they get knocked out. They get there, they get knocked out. It's hard to get back. You got to win to get back.
And the problem they have is at the World Championship, if a guy like Vanek's not available, or Raffel, they got the worst deal at the 2015 Worlds. All they had to do was win in regulation against Germany. They went to overtime. That's okay. They still would have stayed alive as long as France and Latvia didn't go to overtime. Guess what happened? Yeah, France and Latvia went to overtime.
Yeah, the France-Latvia result was the one that clobbered them.
And the coach set here by Canadian Dan Ratushny. Played back across. Here's Kasper with it. Marco Kasper from Innsbruck. Kasper drops it back. Taller back at the point. That shot was blocked as Philip Dimmer couldn't get through the traffic. Well, we're midway through the opening period. The game is still scoreless. No shots on that power play for Austria.
Gord, we talk about the underdog all the time. Just melt the minutes off the clock. Melt the minutes, shorten the game, get some goaltending, get a power play goal. They just missed their first crack at it, but...
Well, the puck turned over in front. Zegras walks in and shoots, and Ranishits gets a piece of that. The goaltending piece is the big part.
Can't do it without it, and Ranishits is off to a really good start here.
Now Rossi pokes at it. Turcotte takes it away. Here's Zegras, spins that through. Kaliev couldn't reach it. Arthur Kaliev. Thrun feeds across. Clevin walks in and shoots, and Ranishits got his arm on that, knocks it way over the glass and out of play. 9:35 to go here in the opening period. The United States and Austria scoreless in Edmonton.
Well, the quote of the tournament might have come before it started. A few days ago, Austrian defenseman Louis Lindner was asked, what do you want to accomplish? He said, we want to play our best hockey, then everybody should know Austria is not where the Kangaroos are at.
Right.
That's the biggest thing I want to achieve. I want to know that people know where Austria is. They don't mess it up with Australia. I want people to know Austria is where Vienna is at, and we can play hockey. So far, Gord, they're playing pretty good hockey.
You know, it sounds obvious. You'd be shocked. You'd be absolutely shocked how many people don't get it right. I mean, Slovenia, Slovakia, sure, that happened. You know, the flags are similar. They're in the same part of the world.
Denmark and Norway, it can happen.
Just you.
Okay, that's just me?
Denmark, Norway, you're the only one that's got that one. You almost quit the business when they played each other at the Worlds.
That was a catastrophe. Yeah, but Austria, Australia, that's...
Beniers winds his way in, drops it back to Boldy, works in and shoots. Rebound loose at the side of the goal. Caulfield couldn't cash. Did Ranishits get a piece of that? And brought back the other way. Oh, and a huge hit there. Clevin leveled bomb. And play is called. Icing was called against the Austrians.
Sebastian Ranishits has had some close calls around the front of the net. Here's one with Cole Caulfield's got the open net, but the puck is poked away by the defenseman Wallner. Coming back to deflect it wide, and while Clevin jumps up in the neutral zone, Tyler Clevin, a 6'4" Ottawa second-round pick, closes the door on Matthias Boom. That was a dead end right there.
Ellison plays it back across for Zegras. The pass is picked off and brought back the other way by Pfeffer. Pfeffer throws it back in front. Zegras knocks it away. Austria has but one shot in the game so far. As Turcotte winds in. Turcotte tried to backhand. That was blocked. And picked up by Unterweger. Dominic Unterweger, who plays in the Alps Hockey League. Plays it down. I gotta say, the Alps Hockey League sounds like a pretty good deal. There's some good teams there. Salzburg. A couple of nice cities in Slovenia. Galich's in that league. Northern Italy. If they're looking for announcers.
You applied for a job, a play-by-play job there?
I think we're going to be busy the next few months. Okager sends that in. The play's offside at the American line. Well, Austria has lots of great athletes. They ski. They're also a good soccer nation. So just 3,700 junior players, but 3 first-round picks: Thomas Vanek, Michael Grabner, Marco Rossi. Michael Grabner has been a really good NHL player. He's had some injury problems, but one of the most lethal short-handed players in the last 20 years in the NHL.
He gets out in the open ice. There's not many people catching him.
And Rafa was a guy. Michael Rafa was also an undrafted player who signed out of the World Championship by the Flyers That's good for them.
Flyers have done some good work in the World Championships. They signed Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, who's had a good stint in Philly, now in Colorado.
Tim Harnish back the other way. Luis Linder, who had that chance, had it punched away by Dustin Wolf. Linder played in North America for a while for the Boston Junior Bruins. Hasn't played this year.
Little bit of an open ice play here. The shot's deflected up over the glass. And somebody's got to get up there and grab those pucks. There's no netting, so they don't bounce back in.
The green ones are from practice.
Yeah, you could go get them.
Oh, yeah. You find that untidy, do you?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
You know, Gord, I like to clean.
There's no deception like self-deception, I guess.
Things have to be neat. Everything's got a place.
In comes Berard. Fingers there with Jonas Kutzer. Now moved through the crease by Farinacci. Scored against the Russians last night. And banked back down the ice. Austria plays Sweden on Monday, Russia Tuesday, then the Czech Republic on Thursday in this ultra-tough Group B. And there is Roger Bader. Took over for Marco Pival. Pival's club team had allowed him to coach the Austrian national junior team, but then realized how long he'd be away and said no.
That's such a strange thing. So the head coach
a long shot
isn't allowed to leave, and Roger Bader had to step in.
Bader is Swiss. He was former head coach of the Swiss under-18s and a long-time coach in the Swiss National League. Caulfield blitz it back in. That's knocked away from Beniers, and a good defensive play there by Marlon Chofin. Johnson got bumped there, but moved the puck ahead to Beniers. 6 to go in the opening period. In comes Beniers. Drops it off to Boldy, chops it back, and Thrum couldn't get a shot away. And once again, the pass is intercepted. Good defensive play there by Philip Vimmer. Johnson reverses the puck, and Thrun brings it out. Henry Thrun plays for Dubuque in the USHL. Was at Harvard last year, but of course they're not playing this year. Now the Austrian defender falls, and then Kalya got bowled over by Lucas Netsansi. Sanderson plays it back after Zegras. They're not backing down, Ray. This isn't a 1-4 by Austria. This is
and they're in the battle here. They're in when there's a play to be made, a 50-50 puck. They go in and they're aggressive with it. I've been really impressed with Austria here in the first 15 minutes.
5:06 to go here in the opening period. Still no score. Back here in Edmonton tomorrow, our coverage continues with Canada and Slovakia. The middle game starts at 5:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 Pacific. At noon local time tomorrow, Finland takes on Switzerland. The nightcap tomorrow, the Czechs against the Russians.
Slovakia got smoked in their pre-tournament game. And it looked like they were chasing everything, and they were really good in their 1-0 win against Switzerland.
Peters drops it back. That's ticked away by Jake Sanderson. Kalya couldn't get to it, and Bernard Posh played that away. There's no relegation this year, Ray, in this tournament, so Austria will be back next year, and 11 of these Austrian players can return, including Rossi. Oh, pardon me, Rossi cannot. He's a 19-year-old, but excuse me, Kasper can return. And the dribbling puck gets by Ranish, hits it in, and the United States has the game's first goal as Zegras slides it in.
I say oh no because this isn't even really a shot on net, yet it works his way up Ranishic's stick and rolls over top of him into the net. So the U.S., which had carried most of the play here, most of the puck time in the offensive zone at this end of the ice. I don't know if this puck gets touched one more time or if it goes all the way through. if it goes all the way in, I think that's Drew Hellison's goal. This is barely going fast enough to make it to the net. Hellison's out in the slot. And I think he's going to get credit for it.
Taller drops it back. We'll wait for the official announcement.
This is where Austria, I mean, I'm going to say they've got to be careful, but this is where these games get out of hand, where it's close and then all of a sudden, bing, 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 the other team, the heavyweight, gets a couple quick ones.
In comes Caulfield, a chance. He hammered that wide. They're giving the goal to Turcotte. That's not right.
That's not right. We'll get another look at it, but I think this goes off of Hellison's foot out in the slot and then rolls all the way through.
Casper drops that back. In comes Lindner with it. His shot ramps off the stick. Up and out of play.
We'll get another look at it, and Turcotte's going to throw this, and it hits the foot of Hellison. Maybe the toe of his stick, maybe. And yet it goes all the way through. They gave the goal to Turcotte, but this will be Drew Hellison's goal, a Colorado second-round pick from 2019 who plays at Boston College. Another Colorado young defenseman.
Yeah, they could use some. They're really running short.
Right now, it's like an endless bucket of prospects for the Avalanche.
Oh, what a great move there. Walking right back in front of his break. Ranishic's down, makes the stop. Puck still loose. Bounce away from Farinacci, and Johnson teed that up. That hit Lewis Lindner in the behind. And Vollner watching Berard as he walks across the line. In comes Berard with a chance. Shoots up the outside of the post.
I've liked him 3 times we've seen him. He's got energy. He's on the puck. He's a buzzsaw on the ice.
Run moves in. Tries to center it. Now front. Throws it back in front. Loose puck bounces there to Brink. Can't get a shot away. Farinacci drops it back. Front, a hard shot. And Ranishitz knocks that away.
U.S. up to 17 shots. And Gord, I talked earlier about not getting frustrated if you don't jump out to a quick lead. And you have to be careful to guard against that. But really, there's not much else they need to do. Keep getting the puck, attack with some speed, get the puck to the net, go get it again. Here's Berard's nice rush through the middle of the ice. His shot hits the end of the glove of Ranishitz and then off the goalpost. He's been a noteworthy player with his energy and tenacity in the first couple of games.
Chofin falls. Centering pass for Turcotte, in off the goalpost on a feed from Zegras.
And Zegras can really hold up and find open players.
Again, Zegras shovels it back in front. Ranishitz down. Turcotte pokes at it, and the Americans say it's in. The referee says no.
We're good, thank you.
Well, we'll take a look at it. The puck's out in the slot now, but at some point that was really close to the goal line. Oh, off the post again. Turcotte's deflection of the Zegras pass is going to go through Ranishitz's feet off the post, and that never crosses the goal line.
Wow, they're going to review it. Referees Mike Langen and Matthew Minetti will have a look. So the officials here make the call in consultation with the video goal judge.
Zegras' pass is crisp. It's on the tape, and Alex Turcotte deflects it, and it goes right off the goalpost. You'll see it here. It's a great look at it.
Now, did it come back in off the pad? I don't think so, but
if it is, you're not going to see it there. I mean,
you need an MRI to see it.
Whoa.
We're all sitting here waiting for the officials to finish watching their TV. They'll come out with the call.
There's the call from Langen.
After review, the call on the ice is confirmed. We have no goal.
So it remains 1-0 with 2:07 to go.
Turcotte was part of that top line that had a tough night last night. They were -3 in the game, including the empty netter, and he's had a much better start today. Had the puck on his stick a little bit. He had an assist on what I believe will be Hellison's goal. And then hits the goalpost there.
The United States plays the Czechs on Tuesday, then close out the round robin against the Swedes on Thursday. Sweden's had its issues with quarantine and players made ineligible, but they looked very good earlier today as Ranishits kicks that out. What a defense they've got. Jake Sanderson, long shot, kicked up by Ranishits.
Philip Broberg looked terrific today.
Not the first time he's looked great in this building. He was great a couple years ago in the under-18s here, and won't be the last time either. He's another draft pick. Sanderson drops that down to Caulfield. In comes Sanderson, walks right in. The puck trickling down. Ranishits to stop. Puck still loose. That's shoveled out by Linder. Ranishits has had some help from his friends here in the first period. A couple of goal posts. Some defenders have knocked pucks away. Now a chance at the side of the goal. That's rattled high by Caulfield. Ranishits might have got a piece of that.
No, I was giving you my theory of the underdog, and the one thing we left out is luck.
Yeah, true.
You know, like you can have the goaltending, you can have the special teams, you can shorten the game, but you need to be lucky too. And while Ranishits has had an excellent first period, he stopped 20 of 21 shots. There's been about 4 of them that have gone through him like that and somehow stayed on the right side of the goal line. That's Jake Sanderson's backhand that goes through the goaltender and into the blue paint, but not into the net.
Fimmer with it down. He got poke check. Turcotte knocked it free. Here's Rossi with it. Marco Rossi. Got knocked off the puck there by Turcotte. Rossi kicking at it. And picked up by Linder. He got tied up in the corner by Turcotte. And Turcotte picks it free. Plays it across. York walks in. Shoots off the goalpost. Oh, man. Those things must look like football uprights right now. In comes Faber with a chance. He stopped in tight.
I don't know, man. They're picking them apart across the seams. They just can't get the puck to go into the net.
Zegras centers it. That's knocked down. Peters has it back for Austria. And Peters skates it out for Austria. Shovels that down to the American zone. The time winds down here in the period. A wide edge in shots for Team USA. So just a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes. The shots are 22-3. And that doesn't count 4 or 5 goalposts hit by the United States. You're watching the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton. Our first intermission is coming up.
Our first intermission. And don't forget, we have NBA action for you on Sunday, a triple header, as well as a triple header here from the World Juniors. Mavs, Clippers, Bucks, Knicks, T-Wolves, and the World Champions. All of it on TSN all day long. I'm sure there's some people watching the NFL game who just check in the score of this one on their phone and they go, oh, the Austrians are hanging in there. 22-3 the shots for the Americans through one period of play as we welcome you back inside the bubble in Edmonton. James Duffy and Bob McKenzie.
That's an NFL score, by the way, 22-3.
Yeah, that's right. 1 2-point conversion, 1 field goal the other way. That was the most 7-0-ish, 1-0 period I've seen. We're right behind the Austrian net where our set is. And the amount of posts and pucks on the goal line behind the goaltender, and yet they score on a fairly harmless one.
And what's amazing is the one goal that got by Sebastian Ranishits was just a nothing play. It was a deflection off of Drew Hellison's skate in the slot that should have easily been stopped. And usually those goals are incredibly deflating for a team like Austria, the great underdog. And credit to Ranishits after he let this one in that was as bad as it was. And yes, there were, I think, 1 crossbar, 3 posts, but he made some really good saves, so he bounced back. But it's not a sustainable model here for the Austrians to be that outplayed in just wave after wave of American shooters coming in. The dam is going to burst unless Austria can find a way to push back and try to play some of this game in the offensive end. I mean, you got Marco Rossi, a world-class player, and all he's doing is chasing the puck around his own end with everybody else on the Austrian team.
Yeah, I was feeling sorry for Tim Stützle with Germany today as they were getting pounded by Canada, but at least he had Peterka, another good player. Rossi seems like he's all alone out there and just not getting any help whatsoever. Here is Marco Rossi, the future Minnesota Wild, with Ryan Rishaug.
Happy with a 1-0 score through 20 minutes of play. How do you think you played?
I think in the defensive zone, I think it was pretty good. We gave them too many opportunities to score. They had over 20 shots, so we have to have a better puck management in the defensive zone, neutral zone. With too many turnovers, we just got to keep it simple. Then I think it's going to be a better period next.
The best that your nation has finished in the top tier of this event is 8th. What would it mean to your group to improve on that this year?
A lot. I mean, I think it's the 3rd year in history that we had a tournament like that. So we were so proud of that, and it's a huge honor for us. And of course, our goal is to go to the quarterfinal. But we got to think each game to the game. We can't think what's going to happen in the 4th game. I think now it's important that we go to the next period, play the game really good, and just be better than this one.
Thanks, Marco.
Thank you.
Marco says all the right things, better puck management, less mistakes. I don't know if they can pull it off against the Americans. By the way, they've changed the goal to Kaliev now, as they can't quite make up their minds on that one. Canada will recap that huge win over Germany next. Yet another triple header tomorrow from the World Juniors. Finland and Switzerland, Slovakia and Canada, 2 1-0 teams in Group A face off, and then the Czech Republic and Russia. That old rivalry winds up our day at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Germany and Canada, if you are a German Canadian, look away. First period, Dawson Mercer, the Newfoundlander, steal the puck behind the net, kissing the cod and the twine. It's 2-0 Canada. And you have an idea where this is going already. Second period, 4-1 Canada. Philip Tomasino to Mercer. Another one. 5-1 Canada. Then it's fellow Newfoundlander, Alex Newhook. He gets 2 on the night. 7-1 Canada, 4-1 Newfoundland. And later, Dylan Cousins, who ends up with a hat trick and 3 assists, goes to the back end. 16-2 is your final for Canada against a depleted German squad.
I think other than the score for us, it's more the way we play. And I think in the 3rd period, we got back in a lot of good habits and a lot of good things. So that's what we want to build on.
There's a lot of things we can clean up in the neutral zone and the D zone. Those guys are low numbered and they're coming off a back-to-back. So, we know we're going to face, guys that are less tired in that. So we just got to clean up a lot of stuff in the D zone. But obviously, we're happy with the offensive outcome.
It's tough because you're waiting so long for the World Juniors and to see Canada play. And then halfway through the game, it almost becomes tough to watch because Germany's 14 skaters and they're just getting destroyed.
There were so many reasons why this was predictable, if not ordained, well leading up to this game. But the reason it got as bad as it did, even above and beyond those circumstances, which many of them were pandemic related, was the mere fact that the German goaltenders, and there's no way to gild the lily on this, Arno Tiefensee and Jonas Gar had a tough day. They gave the puck away behind the net on multiple occasions. You know what? They're kids, and they had a tough day. They played yesterday. They came back again today. And it doesn't help that in front of the goaltenders, the kids were really, really tired. They've only got 5 defensemen. They've only got 9 forwards. But you start going down the list. They're so short-staffed. Their number 1 goalie, the guy that was supposed to be their number 1 goalie, tested positive for COVID even before they had their training camp in Germany. They lost other key players like Lukas Reichel from the German team. So it goes on and on and on. But on top of all that, the goaltenders really struggled today.
All right, so let's hope, though. It's going to get better for the Germans, right?
It is. They knew they were going to take a beating these first 2 games with Finland and Germany short-staffed. They had the option of splitting up and getting a day off in between, but they didn't want it. And the reason they didn't want it is they would rather take the medicine that they took today, have a day off, Now they get a goaltender and 2 defensemen back, all things being equal, if they're medically cleared. But 3 players are eligible to come back into their lineup for their game against Slovakia. And then on December 30th, they'll have basically their entire team back, eligible to come back in if they're medically cleared. They are eligible to return as long as they're medically cleared. Those games against Slovakia and Switzerland, if they win those games, they're probably going to finish in 3rd place in the division and play the 2nd place team on the other side instead of playing the 1st place team or not making the quarterfinals and being eliminated from the tournament.
And Tim Stützle and Peterka, I would say, are better than anything we've seen on Slovakia and Switzerland so far. Maybe more depth on those other rosters, but we wanted to give you something positive for Germany because it was a tough day and tough thing to watch. The Arkells to break, U.S. up by 1.
Back here in Edmonton, Alex Turcotte has been given credit for the American goal. Ray Ferraro disagrees. He went off Drew Helleson and in, but we'll fight that another day. The shots were 22-3 in favor of the United States. And back here with the disgruntled Ray Ferraro.
If you only get a couple of goals a year, Drew Helleson, that hits your foot. You want it, do you not? Move along.
So, thank you. Stay with it. It's an easy thing to say. Yep. Hard to do.
It really is when you start to pile up the chances and they won't go in for you. Here's Cole Caulfield. He's a goal scorer. Didn't score in the first game. Wants to get on the board here. Denied as the puck is poked away. Really nice rush by Brett Berard. Off the goaltender's glove and the goal post. In tight, it's Turcotte. Off the post again. Tighter, it's Turcotte. Off the post again. The puck just will not go in the net for the United States, and Captain Cam York finishes it off as he rings one off the goal post as well. An excellent first period for the United States, 22-3 in shots. Yet Austria must be thinking this is just fine. We're down 1 as they head to the 2nd period.
And the team start this 2nd period, 5-on-5.
We're good.
Rossi out for the face-off.
Here we go. Let it rip.
Against Matthew Beniers. It is interesting to hear the officials. We don't normally. And one of the things that happened in the NHL bubble, Ray, was that the officials were staying in the same hotel as the teams, which almost never happens.
Right.
Hockey players in the NHL almost never see the officials outside the rink. The officials fly commercial, the teams fly charters. But there was an interesting byplay between them, and the same thing's happening here.
Well, you find out the guy's just doing his job too. Oh yeah, guess what? They're good guys too. Because when you're on the ice, they're not on your team, right? So any time there's a call, you feel like you've got the short end of it. But when you start seeing the same guys over and over, you start to realize they love their job like you love yours. They're trying to do their job to advance as far as they can. Same as you.
And they're evaluated on performance, and being chosen to do this tournament is a big honor. Casper wheels that around, held the point by Sanderson. Jake Sanderson slides that, then an Austrian with a stick. Hochegger quickly retrieves that. Kaliev for Turcotte, a centering pass, and Zegras just missed on that. Zegras back to Helleson, shoots that towards the goal, a bouncing puck, knocked wide by Turcotte. Alex Turcotte drops it off to Sanderson, almost a break there, but Toller couldn't reach it. Now a chance for Zegras, a centering pass and a shot right on. Taken there by Farinacci. Another sweet pass by Zegras. And I cannot believe this has happened. The IIHF has changed the scoring on the American goal. They've given it to Drew Helleson.
A right or a wrong has been corrected here.
And you, once again, fighting a lonely battle, have won.
And here is another Trevor Zegras pass. Man, he finds whatever lane he has to find. He'll hold it, he'll wait, he'll change body position, stick position to find the open lane. He's really a terrific player to watch. And there's Drew Helleson, and it's his goal. And it's 1-0.
Do you know they changed the rule because of you this year? Did you know that?
Oh my goodness.
They
Which
did.
rule?
So remember last year, I forget what the team was, but a player got a penalty, got a misconduct, but he was cut. So he had to go to the dressing room and change jerseys and get repairs. And so while he was out, they had to have someone else sit in the penalty box and serve his misconduct. So they're actually 2 guys down.
That's
and you
ridiculous.
thought that was ridiculous. They changed it.
Well, I'm glad they did, because the guy can't come out of the box anyway. Why do they have to lose 2 players for this?
See? The only concern I have is that this now emboldens you to uncork some of your other bizarro theories.
I was going to say, you know, there are some changes that I'd like to make.
Legalizing slashing is never going to happen.
No, that's not good. I'm almost in favor of the old-style penalty rule, power play penalties. So you got a 2-minute penalty? It's 2 minutes. You get 3 power play goals on it, that means you got a good power play.
You know mine, if you score while delayed penalty is coming, you still get the power play.
Right. I don't think we're going to be consulted on this, Gord.
No one really asks, although your outrage last year was heard. Some call against the Americans.
What do we got here? And I thought there was too many men on the ice. They were just hauling the guys back on the ice.
How concerned are you right now if you're Nate Lehman and it's only 1-0?
Well, it's hard to say, because unless you're Nate, you're standing right behind the bench and you're starting to listen to the guys. Are the guys grumbling? Are they starting to show some frustration? Right now for Nate Lehman, I think you have to keep pushing the positive message. Look, guys, we're going fine here. We got 23 shots already. We've hit 4 goalposts. Keep going, keep playing the right way. But where you start to get concerned is if guys start trying to be individual contractors and doing things all by themselves. And there's really been no indication of that so far. I'm sure he'd like to see some of his big boys break out here. Boldy, Beniers, and Caulfield are on the ice. They've had quite a few chances. Nothing gone for them. That top line with Turcotte and Zegras have been all over the net. And just the one lucky goal is the only goal on the board.
Off the face-off, York works in. Cam York lines into the corner. Don't forget the U.S. has hit at least 4 goalposts in this game. Boldy to Caulfield. Cole Caulfield back to Faber with a chance. And Radishit's got his glove on that.
It's a really nice pass for Caulfield. One of the reasons being that he didn't rifle the puck across. He put it into a place that was very receivable for Faber. He just fired it over the net.
York goes back. He's bumped there by Marco Kasper, who's gained some attention here in this tournament in the early going for his play as a 16-year-old, one of the youngest players in the tournament. Austria's got 11 guys who can come back next year. In comes Beniers, a centering pass, just missed Boldy, and Boldy swings back in the corner. Back for Hellison, walks in and shoots off a stick and high. Matthew Boldy back on it. Caulfield pivots back a couple of times, drops it off. Sanderson jumps in, Jake Sanderson, a centering pass, and Turcotte can't believe he didn't score. What a stop there by Radishits.
He literally could have 3 goals already. He's hit 2 goalposts and then just robbed from about 4 or 5 feet. There's Turcotte off the bench. Jake Sanderson goes deep behind the net. Turcotte gets inside of Lucas Thaler, and he is stopped in front of the net. Here's that earlier play to Faber. What a great feed from Caulfield. He's got to find the lane, which he does, but instead of rifling it across, he makes a receivable pass. There's room. Faber just misses it up top. It's such a skill to find the open man, but to know how hard to pass the puck. You don't have to pass everything 100 miles an hour. Ronnie Francis was the best guy ever played with for that. He'd give you a soft one if that was what was required. If he needed to fire one in, he'd rifle it into you. He made it receivable for you, and it really makes it easier on the puck receiver.
Zegras in, snaps out of top shelf, and the United States breaks through for the second one to take a 2-0 lead.
Well, we've been talking about him already, but this kid is a player. Anaheim is going to love Trevor Zegras. He's on the board here in his second game. There's a Zegras sweater. He scored the other night. against Russia in the third period. He's kind of hanging out in the high slot. And he takes the pass from Turcotte and beats Ranishits up over the blocker. So they do get on the board. Zegras from Turcotte, and it's 2-0.
Zegras had a good year last year at BU at 36 points in 33 games, and signed with Anaheim at the conclusion of his college season, turned pro, and of course this year has not been able to play. Been working out in Southern California. It's going to be interesting to see NHL players after the long layoff. There's two schools of thought. One, there'll be some rust, but two, for a lot of players on good teams, a long rest.
Well, Gordon, remember the lockout after Timo Solani had signed in Colorado? And he couldn't get on track in Colorado. And it turned out he needed major knee surgery.
Farinacci and shoots, scores! He flips it in, and now the dam bursts.
Yep.
And the U.S. is up 3-0.
28 seconds between goals. And John Farinacci, who is playing in Muskegon in the USHL, should be at Harvard. No hockey at Harvard in the USHL. He's got goals in back-to-back games. Ryan Johnson jumps up into this play. His great skating ability pushes everybody back a little deeper, and Farinacci has to fight for the puck a little bit, and then he chips it up over the goaltender's left-hand glove, and he's got goals in back-to-back.
Yeah, he does. He's another guy playing at Muskegon in the USHL this year. He was at Harvard last year, scored 10 goals in 31 games as a freshman for Ted Donato, the head coach at Harvard, who's also his uncle.
Just to finish off about Solani was that he needed major knee surgery, and that was the year of the lockout. He went away, had a full year to recover. He came back in Anaheim. It was like he was reborn. The old Solani was back. And there's going to be players like that have had this long gap of time, and they're going to come back healthier than they've been in quite some time. Farinacci stays with this puck really well. Doesn't get much on it, but it turns out to be perfectly placed.
Philip Wimmer trying to clear it out. It's knocked down neatly by Colangelo with a sharp angle shot. That bounces high in the air. And York in for Faber. The centering pass just missed there from Brisson. And Harnish plays it back across to Rossi. Marco Rossi flips it in. Harnish goes after it. Rossi trailing as well. And Faber has time to adjust his helmet while moving the puck up the ice. It's a skill.
Multitask. Well, Dustin Wolf sure hasn't had much to do down there. Just 4 shots on goal. We haven't talked about the U.S. goaltending at all. Spencer Knight was pulled against Russia. 4 goals and 12 shots, and then Wolf came in and stopped all 11 in 26 minutes of relief. This was their plan, to get him to play tonight against Austria. I thought they would go back with Knight, but it's Wolf. He just hasn't had much to do.
So now the question is going to be who starts against the Swedes on Monday. Penalty coming. It's a holding call against Austria. The United States in the power play when we come back.
Kasper gets called for holding on Matt Beniers behind the net. A couple of young guys. Beniers just 17 years old. 18 years old, rather, going to be drafted highly this year. And Kasper just 16 years old.
That shot off the shoulder of Ranishits. U.S. back on the power play. York to Zegras. Across to Kaliev, the trigger man, one of them on this power play. Zegras feeds it down. Boldy centers, and Caulfield turned away in tight.
Really nice work. Zegras, Boldy, and Caulfield, one touch all the way. Caulfield turned aside.
Now Boldy busts in, shoots off the outside of the goalpost.
He's been really good here in Edmonton since the U.S. has arrived.
Zegras feeds it down to Boldy, back to Zegras, to Boldy. Zegras, Caulfield in the high slot. York back across to Zegras. That pass tipped away neatly by Wimmer. Caulfield falls. The puck still loose in the corner. Pfeffer couldn't reach it. And Boldy across to Caulfield. Cole Caulfield, the Montreal Canadiens' first-round pick in 2019. Back to York to Caulfield. Walks in, feeds across. Ziegler, the hard shot. That might hit the pipe again.
We're going to have to repaint these things by the end of the night. That's at least 5 that the U.S. has hit.
Zegras feeds it back at front, knocked away by Lindner. 40 seconds to go in the American power play. Brink walks in and fires that wide, knocked down by Zegras. Feeds it in for Turcotte. Turcotte drops it back. Sanderson a shot. That's punched away by Ranishitz, up and out of play.
The U.S. with 3 really good chances on this power play. Here's the first one. Watch his puck movement. Zegras, Boldy, Caulfield, well stopped by Ranishitz, but that's terrific puck movement. And then Boldy driving around the outside. He beats Ranishitz on the blocker side. That hits the pipe and goes to the corner, and then Zegras, glove, post, another one. And the game stays at 3-0.
Get back across to Brisson. Takes the return feed, shoots, scores! Power play goal for Brendan Brisson. And the United States has taken a 4-0 lead. His agent will like that. His dad, Pat Brisson, a well-known agent.
Face-off win and good help in the middle of the face-off circle to keep that puck alive. Brisson will play catch at the point with Jake Sanderson, and the one-timer beats Ranishitz on the short side. The U.S. has a power play goal, and it's 4-0.
Brendan born in Manhattan Beach, California. He's a freshman at Michigan. 2 goals in 8 games played. He was the USHL Rookie of the Year last year with the Chicago Steel. As you mentioned, a Vegas first-round pick, 29th overall in 2020.
Penalty killers, enough room to open up the pass lane, and the one-timer will find just enough room over the pad under the glove for Brendan Brisson.
Sassani had that knocked away. Lead pass. Finds Gerard. Moynihan shoots. That was blocked as Posh got in the way. Henry Thrun winds his way through the middle. Jumps it across the line, drops it back off for Berard. The Farinacci has a goal here tonight. Farinacci drops it off to Berard. In comes Thrun. He's it down below the goal mouth for Farinacci. That's knocked down by Philip Vimmer. Rolling puck, and Wolf knocks that away. Needed something to do.
Looked like he was excited. The puck came down there.
34-4 are the shots. Pellison. Up for Brisson. That was knocked away. Vimmer has it back and lifts it high in the air. So Austria, you want to say it through a quirk in the rules, will have back-to-back appearances in the top level of the World Junior for the first time in its history, because there's no relegation this year. Brink moves in, feeds across, and Brisson fanned on that. So as many as 11 of these Austrian players can come back to Edmonton next year. Schlager tries to find Brink. That misfired. The U.S. has 7 who can return next year. Long pass, missed passing line. Icing waved off. Boldy moves in with Beniers. The Caulfield, the trailer. He Had that shot marked partly away by Unterweger. And now Unterweger back with it through the middle. And that pass for Collar missed. Caulfield had the puck roll off his stick. And Chilton plays it back down to the American zone as York goes back for it. Tomorrow, the Finns and Slovaks, or Finns and Swiss rather, at noon. Canada, Slovakia at 4 local time. In the nightcap, the Czechs and the Russians at 7:30 Mountain Time. Marco Rossi flips that wide of the goal.
He's been really quiet. I mean, the Austrians haven't had the puck much at all, but we haven't talked about Rossi at all.
Peters flips that in. Here's Rossi back with it. Shields off Faber. Harnish couldn't reach it. That's knocked out by Berniers, and a chance down for Caulfield. One-on-one with Fettler. Caulfield shoots. And Radishitz knocks that away. Rossi taken down by Turcotte, the centering pass, and a backhand shot by Zegras. Put towards the goal there by trying to wrap around try for Kaliev. Now Zegras back with it. Zegras off the outside of the goal post. Kaliev. In comes Zegras. Oh, that's it. He roofs that right under the post. And Zegras has another to make it 5-0.
They hit the post earlier in the shift. And this is so slick from Trevor Zegras. Short side, up high, over the blocker, into the very top bin of the net. Turcotte will find Zegras again. Really nice move with his skates as he gets up on his edges to lose the defenseman off the head of the goaltender and in. And it's now 5-0. Zegras has a pair in this period. And a couple of goal posts while he's at it. We talked about the U.S. wanting to get their big guys untracked a little bit. Turcotte's got 3 points. Zegras has got 3 points.
Here they come again, 2-on-1. Farinacci with Berard. Berard in, shoots, and Radishitz makes the stop. Trevor Zegras from Bedford, New York, pacing Team USA here, and says hello to a 5-0 lead. Time now for Gear Up with Skip the Dishes, and today we're paying tribute to the folks who do the testing here, the frontline workers who have been doing testing for us and around the Edmonton area. And we're saluted by the local organizers here. Skip the Dishes, the official food delivery app of Hockey Canada. It's gone very smoothly so far, with one exception. Testing you has been a problem. They need a corkscrew to get the swab up her nose.
Yeah, there's a little bit of challenge there.
Well, feeds out in front of the pass. Just missed. Marco, or Vilna rather. And Vilna was right in front. Well, it's been very smooth.
Done a terrific job, really super organized. You were part of the NHL bubble in Toronto, but so this is my first look at it, and it's really well organized and really efficient, and you know where you're supposed to be and how to get there. And
Wallner shoots. That goes just wide. I think I'm up around 60 tests now. After the first 40, it doesn't even hurt anymore. Brisson goes ahead to Colangelo. In comes Colangelo, busting in. Manages to save. The rebound cleared away by Poschenbein.
You gotta wonder how much more gas Radishitz has in goal here. 40 shots in 33 and a half minutes.
41. Gloved by the Austrian netminder. So when you're a team in Austria's position, in a format like this, you're looking for the game that you have the best chance to win. What's the one that gives you the best chance? For them, in a really tough group with the United States, Sweden, Russia, and the Czechs, I guess it's the Czechs.
It would have to be. I mean, the other three seem to be miles ahead.
But we saw it a few years ago, Denmark. Pull an upset in their group. I mean, the Danes were the kings, right? They'd win the one game they had to win.
Year after year.
Get to the quarterfinal. Moynihan. There's that back in front for Berard. That's knocked down. And Finn Van E sends it out. Six to go in the second period. Farinacci plays it back in. This is game number 6 of the 2021 World Junior. Obviously an altered format this year, but interesting for us, Ray, that we get to see every team.
Yes.
Normally we only see a team in one group. Is now busting in. A chance for Beniers. Works in, takes it across, and they score! The feed to Boldy. And it's 6-0.
In the early game, Canada got 7 in the second period against Germany. We're at 5 here. As Matthew Boldy takes a terrific pass from Matthew Beniers. A long lead pass will spring them both. They come off the bench on a change, and that is a gorgeous feed for Brock Faber. He hits Beniers, who is circled in off the bench to make himself available for the pass. A little backhand dish, and Matthew Boldy, the Minnesota Wild first rounder from a couple of years ago, will not miss, and it's 6-0. But that is a terrific quick up from Brock Faber. Faber, one of those LA Kings prospects you were talking about earlier, Gord. One of the 9 in this tournament.
He was a second-round pick in 2020. 2 years with the National Team Development Program. They've got 15 players on this roster who played for the NTDP, which is an under-17 team and an under-18 team based in Plymouth, Michigan, just outside Detroit. The under-17 team plays in the USHL. The under-18 team plays games against USHL teams and college teams and competes in the IIHF under-18 tournament every year. And is a waiting room for the big colleges. Michigan's right down the road. Minnesota, Wisconsin, others. There's a quick chance. Off the goalpost. What a chance there for Peters. And now it's Austria's turn to hit the pipe. Senna Peters rings it off the iron. 5:14 remaining here in the second period. The United States has a 6-0 lead on Austria.
Matt Beniers with a beautiful setup on the last United States goal. He's the youngest player on the U.S. roster, but he's also one of the most outgoing. His mom, Christine, is a lawyer, was also a Broadway actress. Gave him and his siblings musical theater lessons. And on day 1 of training camp, when they showed up, the head coach said, "Introduce yourself and tell us something we don't know about you." He said, "I'm Matt Beniers and I can sing." And of course, they made him sing for the entire group. I'm told he sang the Jersey Boys.
Well, if you're going to talk the talk, I guess you got to sing the song, right? There's Casper from a sharp angle, hammered that high and wide, and the puck deflected out of play, so the faceoff will remain in the U.S. zone.
Pretty evident skill to watch when Beniers is on the ice. He's a terrific skater. Covers a lot of ground in a hurry. He's got good hands. Really thrust into a pretty important role here with, as we mentioned earlier, John Beecher and Thomas Bordelot out of this tournament. So they became thin at center ice, and maybe more of a support role was imagined for Beniers, but not anymore. He needs to produce if the U.S. is going to do well.
Wimmer peels back behind the goal. It's stolen there by Turcotte. Throws it back in. Kaliev in tight. Radonjic makes the stop on Kaliev from about 5 feet. Turcotte back with it. Can't get a shot away, and it's picked up by Hoegger. Up for Casper. And Casper comes in. The play is offside.
For 4 years, teams have done amazing things to raise the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup. But this year, ideas triumph. What would you do with $100,000 for your community?
Just after 9 o'clock local time here in Edmonton. Day 2 of the 2021 World Junior. 5 teams in each group. The top 4 advance to the quarterfinals. The bottom 2 would normally be in the relegation, but there is no relegation this year. Off the inboards, Brink moves in, and Radonjic turns him away. Drop back, Hosen shoots, and Radonjic stops that. 45-5 are the shots on goal. Back at the point. Here comes another one off the goalpost by Sanderson. Berard lays that down to Sanderson. Jake Sanderson feeds it back. Berard fanned on it. And Brett Berard winds back across the top. Moves right in. And now picked up by Paschenbein. Julian Paschenbein with boom. That shot was blocked easily by Sanderson. Berard, that high path, able to cross stick to knock that down. And Farinacci with it. Plays it back in the corner for Brink. He's tied up by Lindner. Back at the point is Faber. Feeds it across to Johnson. Shoots. Ranishit's the save. And he pounces on the rebound.
Ryan Johnson has an assist earlier on the Farinacci goal. And this is getting to be an old story for the United States. More shots, more chances, another post. 46 shots on goal.
Well, we talked about it in the first intermission, Ray. You just got to stay with it, right? When it's not going.
Don't get frustrated. Keep plugging away. Keep pushing at it. And eventually you push the other team over. And that's what happened here in this second period.
Well, what we saw last year in the quarterfinal game for the U.S. against Finland was it just never broke open. They lost the game 1-0. And that was a different case. That was a Finnish team that played stifling defense.
But that was, I mean, the U.S. probably felt, or should have felt they deserved to win that game. They had more than enough chances.
And of course, is the other feature of this tournament, single elimination.
Yep.
Once you get to the quarters.
The one and outs, of course, we've seen Sweden at 53 games in a row in the preliminary rounds, and those one and outs they just can't get through them.
They've got one gold medal in that stretch that goes back to 2006. Faber. Back to Johnson, to Faber. Across to Colangelo, in, shoots, Ranishitz knocks it down, it's loose in front, that was tapped wide.
That rebound popped up and hit Landon Slaggert right in the mouth and in front of the goal. It looks like he's okay just over on the bench, shaking up a tad.
Vanny waiting for it. Run stepped up on him. Penalty coming up to Austria. There's Moynihan back with it. The extra skater comes on. It's Zegras. Front. Walks in, shoots. Ranishit's got an arm on that. Clevin at the line. Holds it for Team USA. Beniers. Got it on the boards by Posh. And finally the penalty is called. 1:47 to go, and Team USA is going to the power play as Clemens Krings goes off for hooking.
Austria, number 6, 2 minutes hooking.
There will be the hooking call right there on Cranes. And earlier on, we were talking about Landon Slaggert, so he's wrestling for position in front of the net. The rebound comes off the Colangelo shot, off the blocker, doink. Ouch.
They call it a biscuit, but it hurts when you try to eat it.
It looks like he's okay. No cut. And still doesn't feel very good.
York plays it back to Kaliev, a long shot. Ranishitz save, rebound, score! Boldy on the doorstep makes it 7-0.
Back-to-back goals for Matthew Boldy, and the U.S. 2 for 2 on the power play. Ranishitz couldn't hang on to the longer shot, and Boldy standing right unattended at the front of the crease. And an easy tap, and Kaliev's shot is mishandled. Oh, he almost got it. It hit the goal stick of Ranishitz and bounced into the net.
So the U.S. 2 for 2 on the power play now. There's a BC fan in the corner. league plays there for Hall of Famer Jerry York.
Roommates with Alex Newhook.
Yes, the Canadian. Spencer Knight, the American goaltender, also at Boston College. Jerry York, the head coach there, also coached at Bowling Green as Casper works here. Feeds it back in front. Turned out some good NHL players and 2 NHL GMs. George McPhee and Brian McCollum were teammates there. From along, Sean Ranishit's knocked that away. York's been around long enough. He also coached McPhee's son at Boston College the last 4 years.
30 shots in the second period for the U.S. There's 31.
Beniers with a chance.
31 shots on goal.
Pfeffer slowly brings it out. And ices the puck so he can't get off. He's exhausted. So we've talked about this before, Ray, that you look at this, you say, well, what hope could Austria possibly have going into a tournament outmatched against teams like the United States, Sweden, and Russia? Again, first of all, to represent your country.
It's the competition for sure.
And secondly, you think about that one game.
I mean, the quarterfinals are a win for sure.
Oh, yeah. To get to the quarters, I mean, there's different tournaments here. I mean, in a normal year, to survive relegation is a win. To get to the quarters is a win. The Big Five, if you want to call them that, have different aspirations than some of the others. So the United States blows it open here in the second period with 6 goals and has a 7-0 lead after 40 minutes. You're watching the 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton. Our second intermission is coming right up.
NFL Week 16 continues tomorrow. 3 early afternoon games on tap. If the Americans were the Falcons, then Austria would come back and win this game. I've been hard on the Falcons today, with good reason. They're taking on the Chiefs, Colts, Steelers, Giants, and Ravens. Mucho playoff implications all day long on CTV and TSN. And don't forget to you can't miss any of Sunday's biggest plays with NFL Red Zone, available for free on tsn.ca and the TSN app. Well, we showed you after the first period, the score clock tells a story. 52-5, your shots on goal, 30-2 in that period. This day is actually blowout day at the World Juniors. The cumulative score for the winning or lead teams, Bob McKenzie, is 30-3 right now. And if you look at the sked for this tournament, it kind of breaks down in 2 halves. We had the Russia-USA game last night, but for the most part, the lopsided games are early. And once you get to about the 29th or so, it's pretty much all tight games and all the big guns play each other back and forth. And even the lesser teams with a chance at making those quarterfinals. So it'll get a lot more interesting as the week goes on. This game, after all the missed chances in the first period by the Americans, it was the exact opposite, where pretty much everything they shot went in.
Well, the Americans did what good teams do, and that is they just stayed patient. They didn't get flustered. They just dominated that first period in terms of the shot clock, but only had a 1-0 lead to show for it. And the one goal they got was as fluky as you could possibly imagine. But here in the second period, it took the second goal to open the floodgates. But it's interesting that Turcotte really stepped up in that period, along with Trevor Zegras and Arthur Kaliev. This line wasn't very good against the Russians. It's also interesting that off this play, it was a face-off play. I'll tell you why in a second. But Turcotte really strong on the puck, gets it out to Zegras. And Zegras, who's a tremendous passer, does a great job with his shot there. And he did it again when he got his second goal later in the period. But I talked about face-offs. Nate Lehman, the head coach for the U.S., wasn't at all happy with the face-off play of his team in the pre-tournament game, and then to a large degree against the Russians as well. And I realize it's a much lower bar here with the opponent tonight, but even so, winning face-offs, controlling the puck, and getting it in the back of the net is something that they want to practice doing tonight so they can try and refine that over the course of the week.
I'm a huge Run DMC fan. It's Tricky, probably my favorite rap song of the 80s.
You might be tired of it tonight.
6 times over the last hour. By the time the night is over, I may be sick of It's Tricky. But good choice by the Americans. Here's Matthew Beniers, who assisted on the 6-0 goal with Ryan Rashad.
Well, Matt, I'll ask you this. You have to answer honestly, because I'm sure your parents are watching. When the game was 1-0, were there any nervous moments on the bench for you guys?
Not really. I think we were playing well. We had a ton of chances, and we kind of had the ice tilted at that point. And I think we all, like our leadership especially, was like, stay calm. We have this, we have this at the grasp of our hands. They're gonna come. Just keep playing the way we play. And that's what we did. And then they started to fall for us.
Mark Masters was doing a word association game with you, and he asked you Matt Beniers.
Yeah.
The word you said was happy.
Yeah.
Where does that come from, and just always the way you're feeling?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of a happy guy. I never really get down on myself. I'm just kind of stay even cool throughout the game, and off the ice, obviously, I'm a kind of happy guy. So that's kind of what's the word that came to mind.
Well, it's a game day, so we're not going to ask you to sing today, but if we come see you on an off day, will you sing for us?
Probably not. I mean,
I don't blame you.
Kind of depends on what mood I'm in. If the music's going in the locker room and it's on, you might hear me chirping away. But other than that, I don't know.
All right, fair enough, Matt. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
I think Ryan's just looking for an excuse to break out his guitar. He will do so every opportunity. 7-0 U.S. We'll talk more Canada next. So we are essentially through 2 days here at the World Juniors. The outcome of this one is known. Canada tied for the top spot in Group A right now with Finland and Slovakia, and over in Group B. Once the Americans finish this one off tonight, they will be at 1-1, but Sweden and Russia in top spot. And I mentioned how it's really 2 tournaments in one. It really gets going around the 30th. You have Russia, Sweden, Canada, Finland on the 31st, Sweden, USA, and then, of course, all the big boys in the quarterfinals. Starting in the new year, 2021, James Duthie back with Bob McKenzie. Well, fitting perhaps that this is only the second time that Canada has 2 Newfoundlanders on the roster. It's also the 30th anniversary of Newfoundlander John Slaney scoring that massive gold medal goal for Canada. And Alex Newhook and Dawson Mercer lead Canada on this day. How good were they?
They were good. Canada was good. Obviously, there wasn't much in the way of stiff opposition from the team that they were facing. The Germans undermanned as it was, but hey, listen, Newfoundlanders love their hockey and they love the World Juniors, and they love it when they've got some local boys to cheer on. And Dawson Mercer picking up a pair of goals in his second year back-to-back on Team Canada for Mercer. He's the 7th Newfoundlander to play for Team Canada at the World Juniors, and Alex Newhook is number 8 from Newfoundland, and he picked up his 2 goals, and he's playing on that really important line with Dylan Cousins and Dylan Holloway. As I said, a rich history for Newfoundland at the World Junior Championship, and you talked about Slaney. Prior to Slaney, 1990, the first Newfoundlander to play for Team Canada was Dwayne Norris in Helsinki. He scored the game-winning goal against Czechoslovakia, and it was a gold medal game. Terrific effort by him. And then the year later, Slaney got the game-winning goal. So it was back-to-back years where Newfoundlanders, the first and the second Newfoundlanders to play for Team Canada, got the game-winning goals for the tournament.
Only real disappointed Canadian tonight, Braden Schneider, who gets that headshot and gets kicked out of the game. You would think that the 5-minute penalty and the fact he missed most of the game is enough, but you never know with the IIHF.
Could work in his favor. So far, so good. We've heard nothing yet that there's going to be a hearing, but I should point out that the IIHF Discipline Committee Directorate meets at the end of each night's play, so around 10:30 p.m. local time, they'll get together, and sometimes that's where you get a further determination. But you're right, it was a 5-minute major, well-deserved because of the rules in international hockey. We'll find out whether there's anything, but the fact that he missed the rest of that game, the fact that the player came back and played the rest of the game, and the fact that they haven't heard anything yet may well actually bode in Team Canada and Braden Schneider's favor. We'll find out.
Would have been a good clean hit if the opponent was 6-2 or so, but you have to take responsibility for that. America in control. Up 7-1 over Austria. The Arkels take us to the third.
Reach out, it could be better than a fantasy.
Well, the United States blows it open here in the second period with 6 goals, and Trevor Zegers is a major part of the story. Scores a couple of times. Farinacci, Brisson add goals as well. And then later in the period, Boldy gets 2 as the United States outshot Austria 30-2 in that period, 52-5 overall. We're back here with Ray Ferraro. It was not a banner game for the Americans' top line. including Trevor Zegras in the opener against Russia.
No, he scored in the third period, but they really struggled to get a foot in the game. They had the puck, but I don't think they were very dangerous for much of it. Zegras is dangerous most every time he touches the puck, however. In this evening's game, he has been a one-man gang, whether it's setting up players in front of the net, scoring a couple of goals and having an assist. 7 shots on goal, including this beauty on the short side. 3 points for Zegras. A goal yesterday. Led the tournament last year with 9 assists. And the Anaheim Ducks have a terrific player as their first-round pick, number 9 in the draft of 2019.
Jamie Drysdale this year won't be so bad either, really.
Oh, that's a pretty nice starting to fill up the pipeline there. The Ducks have a lot of good young prospects.
They've just kind of made that transition, right, from the old guard, the remnants of their 07 Stanley Cup team. Harnish tried to bust in there, but fell.
Now they got Ryan Getzlaff and a bunch of young guys. He's really going to feel older when he gets to camp this year.
Boldy winds his way in along with Caulfield. In shoots. Ranish gets an arm on that. It bounces way into the corner. And Peters has it back. Senna Peters. Tries the backhand down ahead. Austria back in action in Sweden on Monday. The United States gets a couple of days off prior to playing the Czech Republic on Tuesday. Kalyev throws that rink wide for Zegras. Zegras will between the legs pass to Sanderson. Back for Zegras. That just missed. Turcotte. Back for Sanderson. Long wrist shot. Manishitz knocks that away. Now played back at the point. Johnson has shot. Manishitz got a piece of that. And the shots keep piling up here. The record for shots, by the way, in one World Junior game, set by Canada in the '88 tournament in Moscow. 95 shots. Front works it. Drops it back. That shot was blocked. They won 9-1. 95 shots.
Do you know if one guy played the whole game in net?
We'll find out.
Could you imagine? Oh, slick.
Walking right in is Farnacci. Lost the puck as Wimmer stayed with him. That was the tournament where Canada beat the Soviet Union. It was the year after Piashtani in Moscow. Jimmy Waite turned in one of the greatest goaltending performances in a single game in Canadian history. Oh, what a dash here by Gerard moving in and scores! Brett Gerard down the right side makes it an 8-goal USA lead.
Gord, I talked about him in the first period as a player that had impressed me. I hadn't seen him before, but it didn't take long for him to catch my eye. Just the pace that he plays the game at, the tenacity that he's hunting the puck down. And he just blows by Wimmer on the outside, takes the slash, yet still slides it into the net. Past Ranashits. This is a terrific play by Berard. An assist earlier in the second period, a goal here, and it's 8-0.
Berard's from East Greenwich, Rhode Island. Of course, Brian Berard, longtime NHLer, is from Woonsocket, Rhode Island. The two of them are not related.
Berard's a 5th-round pick by the Rangers, and the number that stands out when I look at him is he's about 155 pounds. So that'll be a challenge. Obviously going to have to get a little heavier, but man, he can skate.
Thanks for Team USA head coach Nate Lehman at Providence College. Louis Lindner was taken down there and is slow to get to his feet. That's back to the Austrian bench. Clement moves in and shoots. Ranich save. Rebound scores. Rousseau's got his second. And the goals piling up here for Team USA.
.42 seconds apart. That's a couple of times today that the U.S. has scored quick ones. 28 seconds apart in the second period. now 42 as Brisson takes a rebound. Austria is short-handed here. As Linder, the defenseman, was hurt behind the net. He's slowly going to make his way off the ice, but the puck doesn't get out of the zone, and now there's no defenseman back there. Brisson, nice skate-to-stick play off the rebound, and it's 9-0.
Sly grin on the bench. So some breathing room for the United States. Finally, we saw the first period a 1-0 lead, a hard game to break open. They
just stayed with it though, and once you get 1 and 2, that goals 2 and 3 came 28 seconds apart, and that was it. It was over then.
Team USA goal. Assisted by number 25.
Last year with Halifax in the Quebec League, scored 23 goals. This year's playing for the Rogla junior team in the Swedish league. That's a Sani had that shot knocked away, and here's Rossi back with it.
His second of the game, scored by number 18, Brendan Grissom.
Up ahead for Peters.
And by number 19, Patrick Whitehead.
Austria draws the U.S., Sweden, and Russia out of the gate to open this group.
Welcome to the World Junior Tournament. To qualify, and you get 3 heavyweights right out of the gate.
And a group that's unusually tough. Turcotte moves in, trying to feed that across. In a normal year, the groups are more balanced. It's based solely on finish from the year before, how you line up the year before, just how the draw worked out. 15:30 to go here in the third period. The Photograph, available on Crave. Your Hour, some of the top shows available only at crave.ca. Shot deflects off Ranishitz, up and out of play.
Ranishitz on his knees still. Gonna stretch it out a little bit. Man, he has been a busy goaltender. 59 shots on goal.
Make it 60.
U.S. has been pretty relentless here, as Canada was earlier. Once they've had a chance to get a leg up on the game, they're looking for as many as they can get. They've done this here. Caulfield doesn't have anything. Kaliev doesn't have anything. They're on the ice now with Turcotte.
So you were a goal scorer. In a game like this, if you don't have one?
Not happy. Not happy. Starting to get frustrated by now.
Someone bugging you about it would not be a good idea.
No.
I used to love talking to you before NHL games. I used to look forward to it, but I always check the stats first. Kaliev moves in and shoots, and it just makes the stop.
Yeah, well, you were aware. You were there to do the game, and I was there to score. And since I wasn't scoring, it was not a happy time.
So if you had scored like 7 or 8 games,
not good.
No big. Hey Ray, how's it going?
No, like if that's what you're supposed to do, it is just not fun.
2 good chances in tight there, and Moynihan turned away.
You try your best to kind of let it slide off you, but you know what you're there for. You know what your job is, and you're not doing it. And no matter what anybody says to you, oh, you played a good game today, you're like, oh, really? I have nothing. And it is hard to shake that. Well, at least it was for me. Oh, what a great play.
Another chance in there as Boldy completes his hat trick.
What a pass again from Zegras. Boldy goes to the net where he is such a strong player. He's got good strong hands. That puck comes across. He doesn't miss-hit too much around the front of the net. But watch Zegras turn in the corner here. He's going to steal the puck off the nice little forecheck. And he waits for Boldy to get right to the top of the crease. And he rockets this pass. He's not even looking at him. A little glimmer out the side of his eye to catch Boldy's stick, and it's a perfect pass. I think that's going to be it for Ranashits.
He's going back in.
He's going to go back in.
He had an equipment problem. It's wearing out is what the problem.
So what a play by Zegras again. These two have had a great evening. Boldy's got 3, and Zegras continues to impress.
So Ray, at the start of the second period, the score was 1-0 U.S. Austria got the first shot of the period. Since then, the shots are 42-1, and the score is 9-0, 10-0 overall.
Team USA goal against
42-1. We're going to see Russia play Austria in a few days. That's on Tuesday. Drop back to Sanderson. Jake Sanderson feeds it back to Brink. Bobby Brink winds his way in, throws that towards the goal. And Berard couldn't reach it. Across the line comes Faber. And play is called. 10-0, United States leads. Lots of reasons to smile. Week 16 of the NFL season continues tomorrow night. Sunday Night Football between the Titans and the Packers. Action starts at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN and CTV, Canada's home for the NFL. The record for fewest shots in a single game at the World Junior is 6. Austria has 5. I'm going to say
yes. They'll get more than, they'll get 2.
They'll get 2.
I mean, they have won in the last 27 minutes.
Slaggert moves in, fires that wide.
The U.S. have been relentless here.
Colangelo winds across the top. Colangelo swings in, throws that through the crease. Colangelo back with it, shoots and ramps off a stick and out of play.
There is the youngster Marco Kasper. And man, does he ever look young.
Only is 16.
Yeah. Eligible for the 2022 draft.
Yeah, he's an 04. Clever long shot. So Ray, think about it. You retired
in 02.
02, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's just, it's amazing that, you know, he's playing in a U20 league. He's got 5 goals in 13 games.
In a good league in Sweden.
In a good league in Sweden. And, you know, he's a notable prospect 2 years out from the draft.
Turcotte feeds it across. In comes Caulfield. Caulfield shoots. Ranashits saved. And on the rebound as well. And Turcotte back with it. Back to front. Caulfield couldn't peck that free. And now the pass gets away from Turcotte. We're making a goalie change here for Austria. Their backup is warming up in the tunnel. Jacob Brandner. Cam York. Back to Helleson, a hard shot, goes off a skating wide. Hellesy across to Zegras. The spin move, threads it back in. That pass finds the intended target. Moynihan, his shot was blocked. Chopin sends it down now for Austria. Zegras. In with Moynihan, dropped it back. Chofin with a chance now. He's got Netsasani with him. Netsasani peeled off on a change. Chipped ahead by York. He finds Brink. Bobby Brink gets around his man, walks in, and a great stop there by Radishitz.
Radishitz is hurt. He's in trouble here.
He's hurt.
We got to get him.
And play finally called. Radishitz went down hard and right away was in trouble.
Gord, he's been stretching between whistles for the last, I'd say since the beginning of the period almost. And the backup goaltender, Jacob Brandner, was stretching in the hallway. He was coming in at the next whistle, but it looks as though spread right out here that Radishitz is injured. He doesn't even attempt to get up. Well, he does really briefly, and then he puts his glove up in the air. He needs some help. Right away, you'll see him get his glove up and being looked at by the training staff.
Well, Radishitz has faced 68 shots in the game. And in clear discomfort. Players from both teams saluting Radishitz. He's going to make his way off slowly. So Jacob Brandner will come on, plays in the Finnish third league. So on we go with a new goaltender for the Austrians. Puck moved out by Pollock. Trying to find Peters there. Rossi's out there as well. Rossi backs that down. Centering pass, Colangelo scores! First shot in, and it's 11-0.
Colangelo is wide open on the back door. Everybody's watching the puck, and he just hammers his one-timer past Brandner. Watch him on the backside. He gets lost. Everybody in white is staring way over there. Whoops, no, I should get over there too late. Really nice pass here by Faber. And Colangelo puts it away.
Sam Colangelo plays at Northeastern. Played here in the 2018 Hlinka Gretzky Cup.
Team USA goal scored by
Played this year at Northeastern. He played in Chicago, the USHL last year, where Brendan Brisson was as well. I've been negligent in my duties, Raymond.
Again?
Well, I forgot to do our trivia.
Oh, yes, you did.
6-goal lead. So here's the question for you. Who is the all-time leader in points for the United States at the World Junior Championship? I'll give you a hint. Former Vancouver Canuck.
Vintage, please.
It's going to be like first decade of the 2000s. Like I think it's like 08 to 10.
after Kessel, after Kessler.
Yeah, 08, 09, and 10.
I should be better than this. I'm disappointed.
Drafted by Vancouver in the first round in 2009.
Oh,
little guy.
No, it's not.
Jordan Schrader.
Jordan Schrader. He was fantastic in Vancouver.
Yeah, really good.
In the Vancouver World Junior.
Yeah.
University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
All-time leader.
Yeah, 20, about 3 tournaments, right? That's the thing, right? So. Ballmer moves in, tied up there by Clevin. Kutzer sends it back down. Austria still stuck on 5 here, Ray. You think that was a shot? That was not a shot.
No, you're not going to give him one there?
Well, I'm not the guy that does it, but no, that's not a shot. So again, the record for the fewest shots in a game is 6. We thought 7 minutes ago that
there was a lock. I don't know anymore.
It's not a record you want to see.
No.
Ellison trying to bank it back out. Here comes Chofin. Can't get a shot away. Zegras. Oh, what a move. Threads that back in. Now lifted back out by Linder. Icing waved off. Ellison being pressured there. Here's a chance in front. Pace back in. Rossi with a chance. Was that 2 shots or 1? Rossi with a puck again. Drops it back. That shot was blocked from Linder. Another broken stick up. It was like a lumberyard in the American zone. That was 2 shots. Austria avoids ignominy. They won't hold the record. That's all it took. A little burst by Rossi.
Wow, Faber just excellent wheels out of the zone.
That was the scouting report on him. Another quick chance there, flipped wide. That time by Farinacci. Bob Motzko, the head coach of Minnesota, told us before the tournament that the 3 guys he's got here, defensemen from Minnesota, can all really skate. We've seen it with Ryan Johnson, Brock Faber, especially.
Third one's Jackson Lacombe, who's not in the lineup tonight. But man, those guys can fly. A smooth Johnson is to get back to the puck. It gives them some escapability on the breakout. You know, in the first game today, we saw
look up, steal. Kaliev turned away. And played beside the goal. It's still loose.
We saw Peterka and Dylan Cousins, 2 Buffalo draft picks. And here's Ryan Johnson, another first rounder for them. So the Sabres have some pretty nice pedigree that is not that far away from working its way to Buffalo.
Kaliev couldn't knock it down. Johnson plays it back. Fired down to the Austrian zone. Icing called against the United States. 6 of the Americans haven't played this year. Most of the Austrians have. They play all over the place. So that's the problem for the Austrians, is keeping their group together. There's the shot and the rebound. There's your 2.
And Dustin Wolf turns them both aside.
The most shots for the U.S. in the World Junior game since 2010. And another shot on goal for the Austrians. They're piling them up here. 5:09 to go in the third period. U.S. leads 11-0. Time now for the Gatorade shift of the game.
Well, it could have been any of Trevor Zegras' shifts tonight. He's been fantastic. Denied once, and then later in the shift, off the goalie's head, off the back of the net, and an outstanding night for Trevor Zegras.
Now a chance in front for Boom, and Wolf turns him away. So a question for you, Raymond.
I'll try to give you an answer.
The United States plays the Czechs on Tuesday. Who do they start in goal?
Spencer Knight. And the reason I say that is Nate Lehman said they were going to Dustin Wolf here because that was their plan. That Spencer Knight, who had a tough night, 4 goals on 12 shots yesterday against Russia, I would assume the plan would have been to have him back in for the third game. So if you're sticking to the plan, you're sticking to the plan.
Okay.
A 10-shot game really doesn't do much.
Although he came on against Russia.
Right.
In relief, didn't allow a goal.
He was very good, too.
So Slaggert moves in, shoots, and the stop is made by Brander. And I'm not arguing, I'm just, the other side of it saying Wolf has not allowed a goal yet.
I would go back tonight, and really I would have played Knight today.
Slaggert tried to feed it back in front.
They said they wanted to stick with their plan.
Right.
And I can't imagine the plan was to play Knight against Russia and then Wolf against Austria and the Czechs.
Angelo tries to center it. Well, the Tempe Rays stuck with the plan and pulled their starter in the World Series.
Correct, you are.
I hear what you're saying. Shot by Krynes is knocked away. It'll be interesting though, won't it?
It is, and it becomes more interesting. Had Wolf had 25 shots tonight, maybe that helps tip the scale. I don't think it's enough to make me think, oh, I've got to change my goaltender.
And by the way, I agree with you. Knight's your guy.
It's too early yet to make that kind of change.
Rossi taken down, penalty coming to Team USA. And so the Austrians get a late power play here in the third.
Marco Rossi is going to draw the penalty. Austria will go to the power play here, trying to break a shutout late here in the third period.
Kalyev goes off. Rossi plays the point on the Austrian power play. Taps it back to Lindner. Across to Peters. Feeds that down to Harnish. Takes a return pass from Peters. Rossi steps up. Rossi whips it back around to Peters. Rossi slides it back. Peters with time. Shoots. It goes off the leg and wide. And a bank back down the Austrian zone where Lindner retreats to pick it up. Lindner bumps it back to Peters. Ahead to Rossi. In comes Marco Rossi. Into a Feldkirch, Austria. Peters drops it back. Rossi led the Ontario League in goals last year. Actually moved to Switzerland at age 11 to continue his hockey career. And now playing in the Ontario League. Just one game played with the big team in Zurich this year. The Zurich Lions in the Swiss National League. And that play was offside at the American line.
Well, the Americans get out of this what they wanted. They wanted to get some guys on the score sheet. They wanted to feel good about their game. And after a disappointing start against Russia, but a good third period, Nate Lehman has to look at the board, look at 11 goals, look at only 10 shots against, and be pretty satisfied with tonight's effort.
Now you play the Czechs on Tuesday and Sweden on Thursday. And it looks like Sweden's got a really good team.
Well, you know they're going to have a great defense. I mean, their defense was in on the scoring today. Soderstrom and Bjornfoot and Broberg, all first-round NHL picks back there.
No shots on goal for Austria on that power play. Minute and a half to go here in the third period. Moynihan slips. And Thrun picks up the loose puck for Team USA. Oh, look out center ice. Moynihan collided there with Vimmer. And Clement comes over. And Moynihan is shaken up. The referee has his arm in the air to call a penalty on this. And Stan Wong, the veteran athletic therapist for Team USA, comes out.
That's going to be a game misconduct for Vimmer. Oh. From the blind side, he elevates on the hit.
Austria penalty number 4, 5 out of major for check to the head and a game misconduct.
Makes contact on the head. This is wrong about 3 different ways. Oh man.
Shattered his stick in the process. It's
from the blind side. It's an elevated hit, and it's contact to the head.
Moynihan's making his way back to the bench. And he'll be taken.
He'll be done for the night. They'll go and evaluate him.
Dr. Phil Johnson on the right there, the longtime American team doctor, will check on him. And Vimmer will head off and likely face some additional discipline, you might think, based on what we've seen in the past.
Yes, I would think so.
So an American power play here late in the third period. Lorenzo walks in and shoots. That stop. The same thing in the Czech Republic game with Adam Raška late in the game.
Raška received a 1-game suspension for that. He missed the first game of the tournament.
That was a pre-tournament game he did that. Johnson spins it back. And the United States, needing a lift, gets one here against Austria tonight. It took a while to pry it open.
Full marks for their win, though. I mean, they stayed with what they were trying to do in that first period. They were frustrated a little bit, hit 3 or 4 goal posts, and then blow it open with 2 quick goals in the second, and then a big second period. 1-0, 7-0, 11-0, and the U.S. is in the win column.
Even the record to 1-1. Austria falls to 0-1. The United States gets a couple of days off before facing the Czech Republic on Tuesday. And Wolf, by the way, posts the shutout, stopping all 10 shots he faces, coming on relief against the Russians, didn't allow a goal either, so he's posted a clean sheet so far. And time now for the player of the game presentations, and then the American national anthem.
The best players of each team is presented by Explore Edmonton, the visitor economy and venue management organization for Edmonton. Each winner will be awarded with a custom wallet from local maker Close General Leather Company. Recipients will receive their award after they exit the ice. The best player of Team Austria est le numéro 1, number 1, Sebastian Ranasic. The best player of Team USA est le numéro 9, number 9, Trevor Zegras. Et maintenant pour l'hymne national, for the national anthem of Team USA.
The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 80 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, helping build stronger communities on and off the ice. When we give back together, we're all connected for good. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada. The 2021 World Junior Hockey Championship from Edmonton, Alberta is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. Find new reasons to cheer. Find new roads.
Three more tomorrow for you from the World Juniors here in Edmonton. Finland, Switzerland, Slovakia, and Canada. Pre-game show on the air at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then one of the oldest rivalries in hockey, Czech Republic and Russia, is the late game. You get days like this occasionally at the World Juniors where the world powers take on lesser nations and you end up with a cumulative score of 34-3 on the day. Have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow with three more games from the World Junior Hockey Championship in Edmonton, Alberta.